With their traditional supply route still cut off, the British then developed the native trail into a military transport system with depots at certain stations up the river. One vessel had survived the Battle of Lake Erie. Launched in Detroit in 1797 and involved in the fur trade until pressed into military service, HMS Nancy had been in Lake Huron when the Americans had captured the British fleet. In August 1814, she was the last ship the British had on the upper Great Lakes. Under the command of Lieutenant Worsley, she was ferrying supplies from the Nottawasaga depot, and unaware that 3 American vessels were hunting for her.
The HMS Nancy was en route to Fort Michilimackinac with supplies when it was intercepted by a messenger from Fort Michilimackinac to inform her that she is to return to the Nottawasaga River, and Lieutenant Worsley was to hide her from the American fleet.
The Nancy sat quietly in the Nottawasaga River while the unsuspecting American ships anchored in Georgian Bay. But when American soldiers went ashore to cut firewood, they saw the mast of the Nancy over the trees, and the battle began.
They would have been firing from Georgian Bay across the sandbar.
The Siege of Wasaga is an annual reenactment that pays tribute to this event.
The sinking of the HMS Nancy was not really a big, huge naval battle in regards to the scales of other War of 1812 battles. The British forces, under the command of Lieutenant Worsley, was less than 50, and they were sailors, natives, and voyageurs, where the American squadron, with its total of men and crew, totaled over 500.
At the point where the Nottawasaga River enters Georgian Bay, the remains of the sunken Nancy came to rest on a sandbar. Worsley's force escaped and made it to Michilimackinac. En route, they spotted the American ships, the Scorpion and the Tigress. Worsley knew if those ships took the fort, the Americans would gain control of the upper Great Lakes and the land in the northwest. He returned with his crew and a detachment of the Royal Newfoundland Regiment, those same men who had marched to relieve the fort. Along with their Aboriginal allies, they captured the vessels. This was the final naval battle in the Great Lakes during the War of 1812. In 1927, the hull of the Nancy was excavated and lies today on Nancy Island Historic Site. The island sits in the middle of the Nottawasaga River, close to where it enters into Georgian Bay, just a cannonball shot away from the longest freshwater beach and one of the most populated summer resorts in Ontario. On one hot summer weekend, when you tire of the sun, sand and swimming, you can stroll around and witness the Siege of Wasaga, the soldiers' encampment on Nancy Island, marvel at the incredible march of the men of the Royal Newfoundland Regiment, and visit the museum that is a legacy to a schooner and her crew. For more information, visit our website on topoftheworld.net.